Hi there, I'm Saville, creator of Switched On. Now, with the new year coming, have you set yourself any New Year's resolutions? Are you going to stop smoking, lose weight, get fit, or change your life in any other way? Anything that's important to you? Have you got anything lined up, anything you've prepared? See, I used to set myself New Year's resolutions every year, and for me, I'd be okay for a few weeks, a few days sometimes, or a few weeks, and then something would happen. Life would get in the way, and the best laid plans would not turn out very well. I'd end up going back on what I'd said. I'd make a million excuses as to why I couldn't do what I'd set myself to do. So eventually I just stopped doing New Year's resolutions altogether, which was good in one way, because it means I wasn't forcing myself to do something that wasn't going to happen, because that makes you feel like crap. But I needed to find something else, another way to still achieve the same things I wanted to achieve. And let's look at the smoking one, because this is something that I did quite a few years ago now, and a recent distinction that I've come across in the past year, which has been really effective for me, kind of explains how I did it, although I didn't realise this was the important underlying structure of what I did at the time. So when I wanted to give up smoking, I'd just got into NLP, and I'd learned some basic techniques of how to do that. So what I did was, I had my last cigarette in my hand, I was smoking it, I got about halfway through it, and then I looked at it, I got it, I stubbed it out in the ashtray. I made a big effort to stub every part of it out. I threw that away. I threw away the lighter, all my lighters, I had a lot of them. I threw away ashtrays, I threw away all the paraphernalia related to smoking. Everything I cleared out. So I had a really powerful image of me taking action and doing these things, a reminder that I did it. You know, I didn't keep smoking it to the very last breath and then sort of go, oh, I'm going to miss you, old friend. You know, I didn't do that, because that would not have been a good thing. So if you're going to quit smoking, I suggest do not do that. That is one of the reasons why so many people just keep smoking again, because their last memory of smoking is, oh, what a lovely thing, am I giving up? Whereas my last memory was, fuck you, I don't need you anymore. I'm no longer going to be controlled by you, and I'm getting you out of my life. That was my take on it. That's how I chose to do it, and it worked. It worked a treat. Although I got cravings, and I did get cravings. When I got those cravings, I owned those cravings. I was okay having the craving, because to me it was part of the process. Of course I'm going to get cravings. I've been smoking for 18 years. Of course I'm going to feel cravings. So when the cravings came in, I just sat with them. I allowed them to be in my body. I allowed myself to feel those feelings. I owned those feelings. And then, as what naturally happens with cravings, they go away if you wait long enough. All you have to do is wait. It's like a tide that comes in, it stays with you, and then it goes out again and flows away. So that's what I did, and that's how I gave up smoking. And I mean, seriously gave up smoking. I totally got rid of the habit for good, and it was so much easier than I thought. Now, why that happened, I had my own understandings at the time as to why that worked, and it wasn't until this year that I learnt the important distinction which explains that, and explains so much more, which is the owner-victim distinction. And the idea is that in any moment of your life, you can choose to be an owner, or you can choose to be a victim. Or you can choose to be a victim may not be the right word, because you don't choose, you're just reacting. So for instance, with smoking, you can be a victim of it, and you can say, oh, but I've got these cravings in my body, which means I have to do it, which is understandable. You know, sometimes they're powerful, strong cravings. But if you give in to that and you smoke, that is you being a victim of that. It's not you deciding, I'd like a cigarette because I enjoy the process of smoking in itself. This is you reacting to a physical feeling, and then letting that feeling control you. And that is being a victim. Now, an owner chooses in that moment what to do. So the cravings come in. Do I choose to smoke, or do I choose not to smoke? The owner always has choice and always has influence. The victim doesn't think they have a choice, and in fact will give so many excuses as to why they don't have a choice. And whilst the owner will say, I have choice, will always know that there is no control. The owner knows they can't control everything, they can't control anything really, but the owner knows that they can influence everything. And this is such an important thing that can affect everything in your life really. Any circumstance, any situation in your life that you want to change, if you in that moment decide to own it and own every part of it, you can influence it and make a difference. So if you've got a New Year's resolution that you want to stick with, all you have to do in those moments when it becomes hard is own the difficulty, own it to your very core. And that also means, by the way, if you do smoke, or if your diet's your thing and you crave foods and you eat them, own the fact that you occasionally might mess up. Own the fact that yes, okay, you gave in at that moment, and learn from that. And it does not mean that you failed, because that's a victim mentality as well. A victim fails at something. An owner will just keep going until they get what they want, or gets a version of what they want. An owner will continually be striving towards something. A victim will be giving in. A victim will fail. A victim will make excuses. An owner will just work their way around it, adapt and find ways around it. Now, I am a victim in different ways, and much less than I used to be, but it catches you by surprise because there are so many automatic patterns that we have running through us. You know, situations happen that are out of our control, and you don't realise what reaction you'll have until you're in that situation. So yes, I still am a victim in some ways at certain times, but when I am, I can now be aware of that, and I can learn from it, and I can become an owner. I can make myself an owner, and I'm more and more owning my own behaviour, my own actions, and everything that I do. And this is powerful. When you get this in your core, I mean, it's such a powerful idea. I've heard it from a few different people, but it's such a powerful idea that it is always under the surface with me, right? And it stays with me, and it's becoming more an intrinsic part of who I am and the way I behave. And so if you can get this distinction yourself, you can achieve anything you want just with this one distinction. Of course, you can learn other things. There's many other things that have helped me as well. But this one distinction all by itself is enough if you take it with you and make it a part of you and who you are. Now, if this has been useful to you, if you like the kind of stuff that I'm coming out with here, go to my website if you're not there already, which is www.davidsaville.co.uk. Sign up for the updates, enter your email address and your first name, and I'll send you more stuff like this. But I will never spam. I will always only send you important information, things that I've found useful for myself, things that I use with my clients, things that ideas and practical methods that I use within my life and with the lives of my clients. It will only be important stuff like that. So never have to worry about any spam. So if that's of interest to you, go there now, sign up to that, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side. davidsaville.co.uk